Hey guys, welcome to the Whole and Wellness Show, episode 16. How to stop your sugar cravings, how to tame your sugar monster. That is exactly what we're going to be talking about in the next few minutes, or next couple of minutes. We're going to be going over how it is possible for you to be in control of maybe your eating habits and generally your health and wellness, right? So you guys know that on the show, that is what we do. We go over different aspects of your health. And so today we have a guest. I'm not going to be doing this alone. We have an expert in the building. She is the sugar woman, Jill Lefebvre. She's going to be teaching us how to tame your sugar monster, right? So, well, there's an echo. Sorry, ma'am. Do you have another window open? Because I'm hearing
Me?
myself.
No, nothing. Oh, I
Okay.
can hear the echo. Yeah.
Yeah, there's an echo somewhere. Maybe there are two open windows.
Nope, I've only got this open.
Okay, guy. Okay, then. So, let's go straight into it. But first, we're going to introduce ourselves. So you guys know I'm your host, Chibwama Milichuku from chibwamamilichuku.com. I'm a pharmacist and health transformation coach, and I work with you to lower your blood pressure naturally so you don't have to rely on so many drugs to do it for you or endure the adverse effects that comes from taking so many drugs, right? So, and one of the things that we look at different aspects of your health that could be or different habits that could also be leading to your BP control or maybe its absence, right? So, and some of them include maybe your eating habits, like we teach the SAM strategy where you have to subtract certain things, you have to add, and then you have to modify what you're doing. One of such things that maybe we don't talk a lot about as well is sugar intake. And that's why we have the sugar woman here. She's going to also be walking us through that aspect. Hey, Mama. Good to see
Hello. Hello. Right, well, let's hope that I can hear that echo, so let's hope it's going to work okay. So, am I okay to share my screen now?
In a second. So, well, nice to meet you. I know you want to share your screen. You want to teach us a whole lot, but maybe just tell us a bit about yourself. Introduce yourself. Let's get to meet you before we go straight into.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my name's Jill Lefebvre. Like she says, Many people call me the sugar woman, just because for years I've been helping people to really understand the impact of how sugar impacts the body, what negative impacts it has, and how it impacts, everything, not just the way that you look and you feel, but your emotions, your moods, your brain fog, your ability to concentrate at work, it impacts so much of your life. And I know this, but why I got passionate into this is because I was acclaimed sugar addict, and you know couldn't give it up. I couldn't go one day without eating sugar. And the negative impact that had on me meant that I kind of really got gut issues, started to put on lots and lots of weight, and started to really not like what I saw in the mirror. And so, anyway, in my presentation, I go into more details about that with you. But yeah, I just got passionate into helping people once I kind of shifted it out of my life and realised what a positive impact it had on me. That's why I started sharing it since about 2012. I think
Thank
I've been talking about sugar.
Thank you so much. I really love it. All right, so maybe you can start to pull up your screen. Let me also say, guys, as you join, we expect this to be an interactive session. So maybe you can leave your comments. Let us know. I know I can see about 2, 3 people live. Let us know in the comments. Leave us comments. And also at the end, you can ask your questions. And she's also going to giving us a link to join a free, let me not let the cat out of the bag, but make sure you stay to the end. You're
Yeah.
going to be able to get that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you always get notifications when we share these live shows or other videos on this channel. All right. So, ma'am, you can share your screen now,
Yep.
and so we can get into the presentation.
Okay. Right. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Oh, before I did that though, I didn't put the audio on, so let's do it again.
Okay, please, you can
Stop
remove it.
sharing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Share
guys, let
both.
me know in the comments if you're joining us. Let us know in the comments while she tries to pull up her screen for us to see.
And what I've just done now is deleted my PowerPoint.
What?
Just because I was trying to find these. Let's hope it comes
It's
up.
okay. Just pull it up.
Right.
So,
This. It's. Just need to find
are
it
you
now.
ready?
Had it all ready, and then because I didn't have the sound stored.
Okay.
Right.
Are you ready?
Calm down. I'll find it. Trying to find
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Sorry about this.
No, it's okay. Just take your time.
Yeah.
When you're ready.
I had it all ready, didn't I? Oh, let's not bother with the screen. I can't find it now.
What are you trying to find? Your
My
PowerPoint.
presentation, I had it all set up at the bottom, and now I've kind of lost it.
Okay,
Oh,
but are you on PowerPoint?
Yeah, 1 minute. Come on, PowerPoint, do your baby.
It's all right.
There.
Okay, just
Found
take a deep
it.
breath and
Found it. Right. Okay.
so guys, start to drop your questions.
Okay, can you hear
Like
me?
you guys need a lot of yes, I hear you.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Right,
She's ready with her slide.
Okay, so here's a little presentation that I've put together. So it's all about helping you to tame your sugar monster, I call it. And I'm Jo, and I'm an integrated nutrition coach, and I'm also a hypnotherapist. So I'm helping you with the nutrition, health coaching, but also the mindset and that subconscious programming that makes you keep reaching out for those foods that we know aren't serving us. And my passion about this is because I know that we're living in an obesity epidemic where disease is so commonplace, diabetes, everything, like so many health conditions are impacted by the way that we're living, the lifestyle we're choosing, the foods that we're eating, and obviously sugar is everywhere, isn't it? So we're eating food that I would say is not really fit for human consumption, because it's all a lot of chemicals. It's food, like chemicals to kind of preserve the food so that it's staying on that shelf, giving the company, the food industry, the profit, because that's obviously at the end of the day what they're trying to do. They're producing products which they're wanting profit from. So if they can make that product stay on the shelf for a lot longer, not have to throw it away, then that obviously benefits them, but it's not benefiting you. So I'm just going to briefly tell you a little bit about my story. I've just briefly gone into it a bit there, but you'll see this photograph of me, and that was when I was about 35, I'd say. And you'll see a picture of me there now, 51 years old, feeling so much healthier, feeling so much more vibrant, and just sleeping better, feeling, like my confidence has come back. And I would really say that the big change of this is because of the way that I've changed what I'm eating. I've changed what I've put into my body. And at that time where you see me looking, like not really healthy, I was really unhappy as well, because at that time I was like in a really unhappy marriage with lots of violence, lots of unpredictable behavior. And I just became a shadow of myself. And because of that, I became an emotional eater. Before my marriage, I'd been super fit, like always at the gym, really firm stomach, never really put any weight on. And then suddenly I just became an emotional eater, and sugar was my go-to food. And each day I'd wake up and I'd say, right, today I'm not going to eat any sugar. And I would find myself going back to that biscuit tin constantly, like eating it and then chastising myself, feeling the guilt, feeling the shame, feeling that I had no willpower, and really being hard on myself. And that just, grew and grew. So the more I ate, the more I felt bad. The more I felt bad, the more I ate the sugar. So I was in like a loop of behavior, and I couldn't seem to break that habit. And I know that lots of people feel the same. So I'm not alone sharing my story there. But a big wake up call came for me. I call it my catalyst, when my lovely dad suddenly died. And, it was the first person who I loved who I'd lost in that way. And by losing somebody that you love, it just really makes you realize, doesn't it, that you've only got one life and that life can be snapped away from us at any point. And I had to kind of really reassess everything in my life and realize that I wasn't living my life. I wasn't, being happy because I was staying in a marriage that I was really unhappy in. And so I had to change everything. So I thought, well, if I'm divorcing and moving away 300 miles away where I was living at the time, back to support my mum, I decided I was going to change everything. So I was going to change the way that I ate, my lifestyle, the way I looked after myself. And my main focus at that time was to try and lose the weight. And I think because so many drastic things had happened and a big change had happened, that I suddenly became that I cancelled out the sugar. And I couldn't believe the difference. But just in a few weeks, I started to shift that weight. I started to feel like my gut issues were all sorting themselves out. And by a few months down the line, I was just a completely different person. I was slipping into skinny jeans, and I'd not been able to wear those for so long. And I started then becoming really passionate again about nutrition and health. So I enrolled in lots of nutrition courses. One of the main ones was the Institute of Integrated Nutrition, where I became passionate about sharing health and wellness, because I knew that I could really help so many people. And I started doing Truth About Sugar workshops in my local area, and they kind of seemed to kind of go really well and gave me more confidence. So I started doing more. And then I suddenly got a phone call from the Cabinet Office in London asking me to come down to London to share my workshop to the government, which was like such a kind of, I don't know, like a kind of sudden, well, I don't boosting confidence from somebody who'd felt so small, trapped in an unhappy marriage where I had no confidence at all, to suddenly being in the government, sharing my story, sharing how I'd given up sugar, and sharing my workshop to the Cabinet Office. It was like, why are they asking me? But since then, it's just become my passion. And but with everything, we have roller coasters in life, and we have ups and downs, don't we? And then my next challenge came along, which was, unfortunately, my mum got run over, and she didn't die because of the crash, but with the complications that came with it, I lost her a few weeks later. And so again, that set me back into that emotional eating. And I started to eat the sugar again. I started to feel that I was going back, and the sugar was my hook. And I knew that it was my mindset. So even though I knew that I shouldn't be eating it, I knew that it made me feel bad, I was again hooked on that sugar. So that's where then the hypnotherapy came in. I really addressed the mindset, and luckily, managed to shift past it. And I'm back on the mission again, helping others to cut out the sugar. So the problem is that, we know that as we're eating far too much sugar. We know that sugar is in chocolate and biscuits and all the kind of predictable foods, but there's so many packaged foods, isn't there? And this image here, I'm showing you, is showing like what are supposed to be healthy foods, packed away in fridges. But as you can see, they're all in boxes, plastic packages, and a lot of it is packed with sugar. So what I help people is to become a sugar detective. So I really help people to really understand what's going on with the food labeling system, so you can choose what you want to put in your precious body. Because the food industry are guilty of hiding sugar in your food. So we know that, obviously sugar is impacting your body. And the common one is diabetes, coming from when you develop insulin resistance. So, you're eating the food, your body starts to make that insulin. Your body's always trying to work on your behalf. It's trying to help you. So it doesn't want your blood sugars to be far too high. So what it's doing is the insulin's coming to kind of level your blood sugar, to make it more calm in your body. And what happens then is your body then stores that excess fat into your fat cells, because it thinks that you're going to need that later. But obviously, you're never coming to the point where you're eating it late, using those fat stores later, because what we have is cupboards and fridges and shops where we can just constantly keep topping up and eating more and more food and sugar, which is obviously getting us to produce more insulin. And then it comes to the point where body starts to become insulin resistant. Also, we've got powerful hormones in your body, which are messages to your body. And, by eating far too much sugar, it's impacting every kind of hormone response in your body. So I, really help people to kind of get their hormones in level. And we're stepping into this, I can never say this word, perpetual sugar cycle, where obviously you're eating sugar. We enjoy it. We're programmed to like sugar as humans. That is what our bodies is made for. Right back in the caveman days where we needed to hunt for food, your body was made to kind of have that pleasure-seeking sugar. So you need a tiny bit of glucose in your brain. So that's why your body likes it. But the problem is we're just going far too much, aren't we? We're so overboard now. So, the statistics showing that on average, people are eating 150 pounds of sugar in a year. That works out about 3 pounds of sugar each week. And when you think that's a lot of sugar, which your body is not programmed to have that amount of sugar. It's so toxic and causes inflammation in your body. But what it's doing is causing this blood sugar spike. So you feel good temporarily. You've enjoyed it. But then the insulin comes in, it's kind of quickly bringing your blood sugars back down again. You start to feel this crash. You're now feeling lethargic, brain fog, struggling with your energy, and your body starts to tell you a message, you need more sugar. So you step back into this cycle and it goes around and around and around. And this is where a lot of habits are formed, because you've stepped onto that roller coaster probably at breakfast time. And then that roller coaster happens throughout the day. So what I do is help people to really start their day off in a lot better way, so that your body doesn't step onto that roller coaster in the morning. And too much sugar in your system, obviously, you can see here inability to lose weight. Lots of women who come to me really struggling to lose weight. They've been stuck for so long. And cravings for sugar. Cravings for sugar is this: you've got too much sugar in your system, you end up craving more. Your hormones out of balance, all these kind of things, low thyroid, fatigue, constant hunger. These are all problems which are coming from, you developing maybe insulin resistance. But the problem is sugar is absolutely everywhere, isn't it? You only need to go into your corner shop or go to the garage to buy petrol or whatever you're doing, and packages and bottles are everywhere, tempting you to have that sugar. And we know that this kind of food on this picture is full of sugar. But what I want to help you to understand is which words on the labels mean sugar. So you can see here these words ending in O's. People tend to know that these words mean sugar. So sucrose, fructose, glucose, maltose, anything with an O's, you kind of tend to know, oh, well, if I'm looking on the labelling, I know that means sugar. But it comes more harder when you're looking at words like this, which obviously not jumping out immediately that they mean sugar. Dextrin or maltodextrin or diacetic malt. You're not going to be kind of looking on your labels and thinking, all these words mean sugar. But the problem is the food labelling system, you know, the food industry are allowed to split the sugars up on your labels. And so what I help people to do is to usually, you know, at a workshop I might be running, they'll have their favourite items with them. And so I help them to look on the labels so they can spot where these words are hiding in their ingredients list, not the ingredients, the labelling list. So just to show you them again, these are some of the words. Now, what I'm going to be doing is giving you a free gift that you can access, and you can download the PDF. And I've listed 56 different names of sugar for you that you can print out, maybe have in your cupboard at home, and you can look and you can see that these words may be in your foods that you like to eat. Why does it matter? Well, in food labeling systems, the first word, the first ingredient on the food label is the one that has the highest amount in. So if you're looking for the word sugar and it's not the first on the list, it might not even be the second or the third on the list. But because all the words are then split, if you were to put all of them together, you could see that sugar would probably be the main ingredient. So it is a bit deceiving, it's misleading that they're allowed to split these sugars up. And I just give you an image here of a typical breakfast cereal, a crunchy nut cereal here. And it's showing in red the words that mean sugar. So the first ingredient says maize. And of course, it's probably genetically modified crop anyway, so not the healthiest products anyway. But then you've got sugar, peanuts, barley malt flavouring, molasses, honey, and salt. So you can see that the words in red all mean sugar. So obviously, the main ingredient is sugar, really. And also, I want you to just see here that it says 30 gram servings, 16 yummy 30 gram servings. So what I've done is I've measured those out for you. I'll just show you here. So 30 gram serving works out at 2 3/4 teaspoons of sugar. I'll tell you in a minute how you can work that out. But we know that most people will not have that because a 30 gram serving is just covering the bottom of the bowl, which obviously most people don't eat, do they? So I thought, well, give them a double portion. Double portion still is only a small bowl, really, and that's giving you 5.5 teaspoons of sugar. But we know that most people would probably put 80 grams in, nearer to the top of the bowl, or even maybe 90 grams. And so if you're having 80 grams, it's working out at 7.25 teaspoons of sugar in one bowl of crunchy nut cereal. So if I go back, I'll just help you to understand here, because it's showing you, I don't know if you can see my little arrow here, but when you're looking at carbohydrate, of which is sugar. And it's always telling you what a 100 gram serving is, and then it's telling you maybe a serving size. But we know that their serving sizes are undervaluing, what you're probably going to eat. So we know that you're not going to have 30 grams. And it's saying here that it's 11 grams of sugar in a 30 gram serving. So how do you work that out? So a teaspoon of sugar is 4 grams of sugar. So 1 teaspoon equals 4 grams of sugar. So for example, if your product said it had 16 grams of sugar in it, you're dividing it by 4, and it works out that you've got 4 teaspoons of sugar. So in the Crunchy Nut cereal, it's saying a 30-gram serving is 11 grams. So obviously you're dividing it by 4, and that's why we're coming out at 2.75 teaspoons of sugar. But like I say, you have to start doing your maths, because the 30-gram serving size is tiny, and that's why it becomes complicated and people don't realise how much sugar they're actually eating. Um, but the problem is that in a whole day, you're only supposed to be eating about 7 teaspoons of sugar maximum for the whole day anyway. So if you've blown it in your breakfast, you can see that you've already stepped on that roller coaster that I was telling you about, and you're going to have a crash not long after, where your blood sugars have come really low now, and then you're going to get that craving. You're going to start to want the sugar, so you're going to start reaching out for more sugar, and so you can see how it adds up throughout the day. So most people in the UK, I know, the average is about 25 to 30 teaspoons a day. So obviously it's far higher than what we're supposed to be having. So I'd just ask a question: what do you think you are eating? If you were to think of yesterday and or even today, and to start to think, well, what have I eaten? What do I think of eating? Because usually when I start my workshops and I say, what do you think you're eating? And people will say, not much, because I don't add sugar to my food. I don't have coffee, with sugar. And so they don't think that they're really eating much. But when you start to look at the packages and you start to really look at what you're putting in your body, and you realize how much sugar is hiding in these foods, you realize that a lot of the time you're eating far more than you think you're really consuming. So there's an app that you can download, which the government created, called the Sugar Smart app. It's quite a funky little app. The children like it because it's like a barcode scanner. So you can scan any product and it will tell you how much sugar is in it. But there's a problem with it, because obviously, again, it's only telling you maybe 100-gram serving, or telling you a 30-gram serving or whatever. So you've got to make sure that you work out how much are you actually eating. Are you really eating that amount that it's worked out? And then the other problem with the Sugar Smart app is, for example, if somebody was scanning a can of Coke, it would show them 9 teaspoons of sugar. But if they scanned a Diet Coke, it would show them no sugar. And so people can start to think, oh, I'm okay, I'm having a Diet Coke and there's no sugar in it. But the problem is, what about sugar-free? Sugar-free is obviously putting more chemicals in your body. I don't think it's a solution at all. It's just going down a whole new avenue of toxicity going into the body. So there's different words that mean artificial sweeteners. So one of them that you might have heard of before is aspartame. And it's an artificial sweetener that is considered to be one of the most dangerous foods added into our foods. It's linked to cancer, linked to neurological disorders, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and you'll find it a lot of times in fizzy drinks, sweet drinks. Has got aspartame in it, especially things like Coke and things. We've got aspartame in it. And lots of food items as well. And these are some of the conditions that are linked to having aspartame in your diet. Lots of people I know are struggling with insomnia, struggling to go to sleep. Just really check, am I eating artificial sweeteners? Am I eating aspartame? Because that could be a trigger. Fibromyalgia, again, that is something that a lot of people struggle with. Chronic fatigue, migraines, etc. So, when you think what you're putting in your body is your fuel for your body, it's what it's having to work with. And if it's something that's not serving your body's trying to tell you. So what I really do is try and help people to really listen to the messages that your body's telling you. If you've got acne or you've got migraines or something, your body is trying to communicate with you and tell you that there's something not quite right. But here, if you look, again, the food industry know that we're looking for the word aspartame. And I find it quite shocking that they can put a code in instead. So E951 means aspartame. And so if you're looking for aspartame, you can't see it on the labels, but you see E951, that means it's aspartame. And obviously there's different grades of artificial sweeteners. Stevia leaf is one of the most natural ones. But again, it can be very, very sweet, and it can be linked to diarrhea. So you just got to be careful about what you're adding in with the artificial sweeteners. So my healthy tips are the main thing I would say is one of the easiest things to cut out is to start cutting out the sugary drinks. I work a lot with college students and going to schools. And when I've sat down with the kids and we've worked out how much sugar they're eating, a lot of these monster drinks that they're having, they've got about 15 teaspoons of sugar in them. And you think sometimes they're having 2 or 3 of those in one day, and lots of sweets and sugary snacks. And so we worked out that some of them are on about 90 teaspoons of sugar a day, which is obviously really setting them up for a life of problems in the future. So, my tips are to try and cut those sugary drinks out. That's the fast fuel that's going in, which is harming the body. Get back into cooking from scratch if you can at home, so that you're taking out all these processed ingredients. So you're not having the chemicals and you're not having the toxicity, and you're knowing exactly how much sugar you're putting in because you're watching what you're putting in your own food, and crowding out the bad stuff by adding in the good stuff, and getting your whole family involved in what do they want to eat, and being organized well in advance, so you know that when you come home from work, and that might be your trigger, that might be your habit, as soon as you come in, go straight to the biscuit tin. But if you know that you're coming home and you open your fridge and there's something there that you can straight away combine into a healthy meal, it can make it a lot easier to avoid falling into those habits. Okay, so my gift to you is something I've just created, and it's called 5 Days to a Sweeter Life. So it's a 5-day free course with videos and PDFs, and I think we're going to give you the link so you can access it straight away if you want. And I've said here, do you know how much sugar is hiding in your food? Most people exceed the recommended daily allowance by 10 a.m. Depends when your breakfast is. It might be 7 a.m. But so know the truth about sugar. Become an expert sugar detective and be inspired to make wiser choices for you and your family. So when you go onto the course, it takes you to this thank you page. You're accessing this 5 days to a sweeter life. And what you need to do is then check on your email, and it gives you a password or passcode. Put that in and it takes you straight to the mini course. So, and you can access that for free. And then if you're interested, we're talking about taming your sugar monster. So, you can have all the information, like I said, you might know already all this about sugar, but you might be really struggling to actually cut it out. That's where I was. I knew so much about sugar, but I just couldn't cut it out. So I've created this program to really help people to tame those sugar cravings. And so what I'm doing is really addressing your subconscious programming. The habits, the triggers, the mindset. And I use a lot of hypnotherapy with this. So you get morning hypnotherapy, feeding into you every day through an app I've created. And then you get an evening hypnotherapy as well to go to sleep with. And I'm just helping to suggest things to your subconscious mind so that you start to adjust your habits. And so you're not battling against your willpower. Because I think that's what a lot of people are scared of, aren't you? They're scared of, oh, if I cut sugar out, I'm going to have to kind of go without, I'm going to feel restricted, and it's going to be boring. I like sugar. Of course we like sugar. We've programmed to like sugar. But if you know that you're eating too much and you want to get back in control, then you're welcome to come and join us. It's only £49 and you get so much value, because you're getting a stop snacking challenge. Each day it drips feed through the app with nutrition advice. You're getting lots and lots of recipes, easy, nutritious and delicious recipes, which are very easy to cook. And then you're getting a Zoom call every Tuesday night where I'm teaching something about nutrition, or I'm taking you through a hypnotherapy or visualization to help you to get in control. You're getting your hypnotherapy audios, you're getting your private Facebook group where everyone's communicating as a supportive community, sharing what they're eating that day to help you and to help themselves to keep on track. And then lots of daily support and accountability as well. And this is how it's presented through the app. So it's very easy. You just click on the app and it takes you to whatever part of the course you're wanting to access at the time. And these are just some examples of the recipes that you get. They're all really brightly photographed, and so tempting and easy to follow. All the ingredients, just it's all so simple to follow. And then I've got so many happy clients with testimonials, because they're just feeling that, what I get a lot of people saying that they've been to so many different Weight Watchers or slimming clubs, and by just coming and having a different approach where we're not being told that we can't have something, because I'm not saying you can't have it. What we're saying instead, we're taming your sugar monster, so you become the one that's back in control. The monster, the little monster, is still there, but we're keeping him happy, and so he's not, grabbing at you, telling you all the time to be tempted to food. So what we're doing is getting your hormones in balance. We're getting your blood sugars in balance. We're feeding your body with good, nutritious food, so it's feeling satisfied. It's not telling you, oh, please eat again, please eat, because I haven't got the nutrition. That's what a lot of the cravings are coming from, because your body is so desperate to have more food, because it's hoping that next time you might give it the nutrition that it's really needing. So yeah, so lots of testimonials there. So I'll stop sharing and hopefully come back to you.
Yes, we're back.
Yay, we're back.
Wow. Very, very insightful presentation. I really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You know, thank you so much for walking us through all this. You really shared a lot in what, 30 minutes, 35 minutes?
I
You really
flashed
shared a
it.
lot. Yes. Yes, about 56 different names for sugar. That is crazy.
Oh,
So
there's more. There's so many more. I've put 56 there, but there's so many more as well. So yeah,
because it can be very misleading when you take up a pack of food and packaged food and you see, oh, it's sugar free, but then you don't know that it's still in there, just that it has another name. So it's really great to know that there's so many things out there that we think, oh, sugar free, zero sugar drink, but then it still probably contains something that is harmful and destroying our bodies or our health.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
so great
yeah.
work you're
Because
doing.
when we were years ago, when I went down to the cabinet office, I was hoping that they'd go down the route of reducing tax on fruit and veg. And what I was hoping is that they'd put, cooking courses throughout the land, so people could get more passionate about eating and cooking at home. But instead, they brought in the sugar tax. And obviously, the sugar tax just means that food industry are now reducing the sugar, but they're replacing it with the artificial sweeteners, which I don't think is the solution at all.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Well, I think basically it then lies on us as individuals to then choose what we eat, because we may not be able to stop them from producing, stop producers from producing these packaged foods, but we can choose what we then eat. We can, decide, okay, I don't want to buy the packaged foods. I'd rather cook at home, like your healthy tips that you shared with us. Cook at
Yeah.
home so I'm in control of what I'm putting into my food and
Mhm.
ultimately what I'm feeding on and my outcomes.
Yeah.
Right.
But the problem comes when, yes, it is people's choices, but a lot of time they don't realise that how much sugar is hidden in the food. So I do think the government needs to be better at making sure that the labelling system is so much more clearer.
Okay. Yes. Yes. True that. All right, guys. We have still so many people online. You can drop your questions in the comments. Jill will be here to take your questions. And if you also want to join the free, what's the name? It's a Sweeter
The
Life,
Sweeter Life,
5 days
yeah.
to a Sweeter Life. I love that name, Sweeter Life. So guess what? Stopping the sugar cravings, but then we're still getting Sweeter Life where we feel better about ourselves. You can
Yeah.
always join that as well. The link to
And
join is
then
also in the
I forgot to
description of
give
this
you
video.
I forgot to give you the link for the Tame Sugar Monster, didn't I? So I'll give you that and we can add it in later, can't we?
Add it in the description. Yes, so everything that is mentioned here, it's all found in the description of the comments,
Yeah.
in the in the description of the video, right? So we have some people here who said thank you, who said wow, thank God I was here. I don't know, I was pulling up the comments while you were here, while you were doing the presentation. So that's it, guys. So this is all about sugar. This is all about sugar and what you can do to make sure you're better in control. The links are in the comments. Also, thank you so much, Joe, for coming to share with us.
Pleasure.
It was really very, very helpful. I've picked out some snippets of this presentation. I'm also going to be sharing across board so people can still come and join, catch the replay, and learn about these things. Um, so they can fix the sugar, fix different aspects of their lives. And if you're also watching, you also maybe want to see how to also lower your blood pressure in 3 steps. We actually do a 3-step approach to that. You can catch the free webinar we also just recorded. It's still in the description of this video. It's about 43 minutes, but it shows you 3 simple steps that you can follow to also help you with that. So everything is in the description of this video. In the absence of any question, I'm trying to pull up if there are any questions here. Okay, someone says, Tamo, Tamo Lai says, great, Joe, so good. Thank you. Thank you,
Uh,
guys. If you found this helpful, let us know in the comments as well. Like, what is your takeaway? Let us know. Kayode says, yay. And he also says, so glad he could make this.
good.
And then yes, and then the app. So there's a lot of feedback. Sugar Smart app, um, aspartame. You talked about aspartame. So these are highlights of the comments. So
Yeah.
you guys, I hope it's been worth your time on the show. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, we're gonna see you on the next episode, which will be same same time, same place next week, 9 p.m. by God's grace. Thank you so much, Joe, for coming,
Thank
and
you.
you guys, I gotta
See you
see you
again. Bye.
later. Bye.
Bye, darling.
Oh, okay. So the